What's up, everybody? Artie here again. Gonna talk to you guys about some stuff I've been into lately, and pretty much let's start all over. I want to say that I haven't been consistent on my YouTube channel, and I'm a YouTube consumer. I eat YouTube like breakfast every fucking day. Started with Casey, ended with Casey. You know what I mean? That type of shit. But I get lost on YouTube also. But I feel inspired that all the knowledge I get from YouTube, I want to regurgitate it. I want to put my input on it. I want it to float in the ether of the internet forever. I don't care if it gets big. I just want to do it for me and stay committed to actually something, you know? And I feel like the most of the things I'm into is gaming, movies, comics, music, everything I'm into. I always thought of making a niche YouTube channel, dreams of like set into one specific thing to talk about, but then that constricts you into not letting you talk about anything. You have to stay on one certain direction. But I had that idea with my YouTube channel, like I was gonna be a comic book guy only, but I felt like trapped almost because I was like, damn, I'm not as smart as these other people on YouTube and other comic book channels, and I felt discouraged and I beat myself up about it and didn't even really attempt to do it. And I felt like that was holding me back a lot, and I think it's really like a mind game because you're like thinking, "Oh, I don't have the equipment to do this." And then when you finally do get the equipment, you're like procrastinating to do it. So I'm going to try to set a goal for myself, 30 days, upload YouTube videos, whatever time it uploads, it uploads. As long as I do it, I'm going to be happy with myself. And I was watching Casey Neistat's video one time. He said, YouTube is like work. You have to show up every day. And even though you're not getting paid for it or anything like that, you got to show that you're committed and like, this is your passion. And just because you say like, hey, I made a YouTube channel and you don't upload every day, kind of makes you show that like, hey, you're just a guy that just had a feeling for like a couple minutes and the feeling went away. And I don't want to be that guy. I'm old enough to like take responsibility, and like nobody forces you to do these stuff. It's like you have to put upon yourself to edit, upload, may even like think of a topic to talk about. And I feel like that's very could be really hard or it could be really easy. And I think a lot of times when people talk about topics and like they make like I'm gonna make a subject about it, probably everybody on YouTube has done a subject about it, But what makes you different is how you put your own flavor in it. And I want to put my own flavor into everything, even though Collider Movie Talk talks about it, or comics and stuff, or comic pop, or the comic historian. I feel like they cornered like a really good market of like just talking about what they know best. But anybody can talk about, just how they put their own flavor in it, and I want to put my own flavor in it too. So I'm just gonna upload whatever I feel like talking about. I'm into, like I said, movies, comic books, technology, skateboarding. I'm hella deep into skateboarding. I love skateboarding, but I feel like I nerdgasm more right now, because I'm getting older. I can't do the same shit I used to. I'm getting fat. I know, and I'm gonna still skateboard, but hopefully I can upload it and get some lines, put it on YouTube so I can show I'm still down for the Thrasher. And yeah, so all these new stuff has come out. I just want to put all that aside, and that was mostly to tell you guys and whoever's freaking watching, but mostly for me, because when people first start their YouTube channels, I'm pretty sure the people their own content is the ones giving themselves the views, and I want to watch this video and say, okay, 30 days, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put up a video every day, even if it's a little bit of time, 15 minutes, less than that, because nobody wants to hear me talk for that much. But whatever, I'm doing it for me, man. Fuck it. All right. So Batman vs Superman came out, and everybody's losing their fucking mind about how the drop off from the second week, da 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 da. Dude, you can compare analytics to like, because I heard that they said the same drop off they had was the same amount as Fantastic Four had, you know? And I feel like just because the word Fantastic Four is so tainted now that when you put that next to Batman vs Superman, it's supposed to make your head spin. Be like, oh, the drop off was so big because, put in perspective, Fantastic Four had a big drop off just as big. That shouldn't deter viewers or people that are reading articles now to not go see the movie. You know, it's just like not necessarily clickbait, but it's like putting it out there as facts. Just because it's a fact shouldn't deter you from seeing a movie or change your opinion about seeing a movie. I know a lot of people already seen the movie at least 3 or 4 times already. And the reason we keep going back is like, okay, I felt like the first time it wasn't as good, and then the second time I could see why I didn't like it the first time, because the direction you were going was this way, and then it went this way, and then I saw it a third time and I loved it more, And I was really in the same boat, because I'm not gonna lie, I saw the first review of the Schmoes Know, and forgot who else. They were like 2.3, 3.5, and I fucking lost my mind. I was like, no way, this is bad. And now when I was excited to go see Batman vs Superman, I was even more curious to see why I wouldn't like it. So I went into it the first time kind of like, damn, and we're waiting in line and talking to my friends. Hey, you heard what they said about it? Yeah, I heard it's not that good. I went into it, and then me and my brother watched it. We came out in the morning. We're like, what were they talking about? Because when you think of like their comments of people that put on like YouTube or write articles, they're kind of like, hey, this movie didn't hit it for me, and this is the reason why. You can kind of be like, okay, I can see why they didn't make it. I didn't really like this guy's movies. I didn't like really how Zack Snyder directs in general. What people would say, I like Zack Snyder's direction. I ate up 300. It was not only like visual candy. It was like almost like poetry, because it was like, okay, you're seeing the guys from 300 get down fighting motherfuckers in like slow-mo badassery. I don't know, you've seen it already. And a lot of people want to like nitpick this movie about how, hey, the villains were bad, or we didn't need this villain. Dude, honestly, if Marvel did it like this the first go ahead, people would be sucking dick and saying, yeah, this is how I like it, this is awesome. But since they had to catch up, and the whole like, hey, versus this, like, hey, we want DC. Why isn't DC doing like what Marvel did? Dude, we're all in the same boat together. I want to see movies that are great, but it doesn't mean that we can't put out a couple flaws about the movie and how it didn't hit for most people. Why they would hit, and I could see why they could hit, because it has like the moldings of a story that could have been something else. Like when we took Batman, the way he's so fucking gristled and like he's angry all the time, and like we take his energy and we put it in a different direction of what we saw on film, And I feel like a lot of people could be like, oh, they should have done it like this and this, and it could have been doing this. But at the end of the day, these are the blueprints for the bigger picture. And if these blueprints pay off for the bigger picture, we can forgive this movie and move forward and be like, okay, I loved how we complained about the first part of the movie, Dawn of Justice, the second movie, actually, because the Man of Steel was the first one. They say, okay, I like the beginnings of this little ball of Play-Doh, and then at the end, it's going to be a fucking mountain of, like, I don't know, like the Eiffel Tower or something grand and just, like, beautiful. And you're like, oh, my God. I thought the bottom, the way the Eiffel Tower is split up, it has the legs on the bottom. You're like, all right now we're seeing are the legs. And then when we see the whole thing go to the top of the mountain, we're going to be like, fuck. Remember when we saw the legs and we thought this was ugly? I feel like that's what's going to be with DC, because I'm okay with the dark and grimy tone. It's just that it hits you over the head so hard. I didn't feel any relief or like time to breathe and be like, okay, yeah, I get where they're coming from. Or I love this part. Or like it felt like so much darkness and like, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying like I didn't feel like like when you drink cold water and you take that sip and you feel that go down your body. I didn't feel that. I just felt like, fuck, what's gonna happen now? Oh shit. And then you take like a little breather. Oh shit, they're about to fight. And then a little breather. And then just the way they cut it together, it's not how the way they cut. I'm not saying the way it was cut made me like feel like that. I just felt the tone overall was really dark and just like, hey, we're serious. We're the WB, man. We're gonna let you know we're not your kids. We're not the same Batman you knew growing up. Christopher Nolan, forget about it. But it's not a bad thing to feel the darkness of WB. It just I needed like a washover of cleanse of like some happiness, a little bit of just like joke. It didn't need jokes. I'm not saying it didn't need to be funny, but it needed that. It needed something a little bit more for me, but I still liked it. I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5. It was good film. Like I would still go see it again and again. I took my mom, I went with my brother, I went with my girlfriend. I liked it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm buying the movie. So I mean, okay. But that aside, the way they showed the other heroes, Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman. I mean, CW needs to get out of this mindset of CW. The WB needs to get out of this mindset of like, hey, we're not gonna do after credit scene because Marvel does it. We want to be different. You know, that's the whole thing. They're setting themselves apart. But man, if they would have just if every movie followed this code, like comic book code, and saying like, okay, we're gonna put an after credit scene, so you feel like, hey, that next time you come into the theater, you're gonna be like, shit, remember the last credit scene you totally forgot about? Well, we're gonna bring it up this time. Imagine in the last credit scene, Gal Gadot gets that email and goes through it, and you just hear her theme kicking, the drums kicking, just like slowly fading up, and she's like sitting down on her laptop, going through her junk email, and she gets an email from Bruce, and it's just her with that photo, and we just get all the same stuff we saw in that sequence, describing everything, but we got the same sequence, but we get it after credits style. I think that would have left people with that oh shit, we get in the Flash, oh shit, we're getting Cyborg from fucking 99-cent store. But it doesn't matter, man. The way they showed it, whatever. Cyborg's in it now. Aquaman, Jason Momoa. I loved him in Game of Thrones. I'm a Game of Thrones fan. Jason Momoa, I wish he would have had like more. It would have been a quicker cutscene, because that 4-second scene of him just floating with his hair, I was confused. I don't know if he knew what a camera was or what was filming. He just knew I gotta kid it, and then he just booked it. He booked it quick, and you know that's cool. It just felt like it left a sour taste in my mouth of like, hey, I know your foot is in the shoe. You're feeling the shoe, but we're gonna put more stuffing in there so you can be like tight. Like, hey, you didn't leave without an empty shoe. I don't know what that means, but I know it's a size 11. All right, and then coming. Okay, so The Dark Knight. I'm wearing Deadpool, as you can see. Deadpool. Okay, this movie Deadpool kicks so much ass that it made everybody reevaluate the way they make movies right now for rated R for kids. It's gonna change. We were gonna see echoes of it later on in the future, but you could say Blade and all these other movies like led the forefront of like, this wouldn't happen if Blade didn't happen, or these comic movies wouldn't happen without this rated R. There's other movies that come before rated R. These are rated R movies, dude. Fuck that, dude. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like, just because basketball has been this progression of like people making layups and now people are dunking and now people are putting it through their legs, it's just a variation now, baby. It's gonna change the game. Deadpool's gonna change the game, and so much that you're gonna hear Gambit get made for $25 million, and they're gonna put it out rated R, and they're gonna make at least $150 million on it just for the name Gambit alone with X-Men on the title. Like, that's how much they're reevaluating everything. I don't know who wants a Gambit movie, but you guys are idiots. I don't see anybody crawling for it. Who's writing a Gambit story right now? Who's even talking about Gambit? Nobody's talking about Gambit. So Fox, you need to check yourself, all right? You need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because Deadpool, I can't wait for the second one. I can't wait for the sequel. Like, I didn't even read the fucking comic books because I was like, okay, he's just a guy that talks a whole bunch of shit and he's kind of funny. Yeah, he's kind of funny, but when you put it on paper, you're like, oh, that's cute. That's for little kids. When you see it on the big screen, you're like, no, this is not for little kids. This is for adults that get quick one-hit jokes. So like one-liners. That's all it's hitting you with. One-liners, and it's awesome. It's awesome the whole way through and through. I can't imagine when there's gonna be a day. Hopefully I'm still alive. We see X-Men, Marvel, Sony, all these bullshit divisions break apart and come back together. I think after, I'm calling it right now, after Infinity War Part 2, their studios are all gonna meet and they're gonna be like, hey, Fox, Sony, let's stop bullshitting. Let's make this all one big universe. Let's start it from Sony's side, and we're gonna make them have to watch the Pantheon of stuff. I know that it's a business decision. It wouldn't be a good business decision, but for the fans, could you imagine how much people would be like, oh, dude, did you see Venom in the Sony movie? And he was talking to Iron Man, that's with Marvel and Disney side, and how he's going to cross over. And just like little hints of like, did you see from this studio that you had to watch this movie? And it kind of like echoed into another studio's movie. That would be insane. People would be losing their shit. This is probably when everything goes down in the future where like free healthcare is going on, because I don't see it happening. You know what I mean? But Deadpool compared to Batman vs Superman, what a different tone, comic book wise. Like, I know it had how much, like the Trinity, seeing Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman all together in the same movie hits for so many levels on so many people just passing the 75th anniversary of Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. But nobody, if you were to tell people like, hey, you would have liked Deadpool more than Batman vs Superman, I would have slapped you in the face. I would have been like, no, there's no way in hell I would have liked Deadpool more than the other one. I saw the trailers. I was laughing. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't think that Batman versus Superman would be such an upset. But it's not. It's not even like, because the words you use hit the Batman and Superman downer and down when you say it wasn't as good, or it wasn't my expectations. But it's not my fault for having high expectations, because every year there's a new comic book movie coming out that blows your fucking mind. It could have been Guardians, could have been the first one for you. It could have been Blade 1. It could have been the first X-Men movie. It could have been the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. When you saw those comic books, you're like, fuck, I didn't know movies could be like this, let alone a comic book movie. And then when you let those expectations get so grand and big, even though you have hits and misses, that's kind of like, that should be like a good thing, that we want all these movies to be like, hey, I want the standard like this, because if it's not met, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to let you guys know. And I feel like since the internet is a big community, it's a wild, wild west of opinions right now. And hopefully my opinion echoes with somebody else's opinion, and we just feel like we want all these movies to be good. But to say that WB had a failed mission at the end of the day, I don't know if it's failed, but I feel like WB could have been a lot higher up right now. They could have been closer to $1 billion quicker now than they could have been a week ago. You know, we're almost on the third week. It's almost Friday of Batman vs Superman being out or whatever. I don't know. I think it's gonna be $1 billion franchise, but that doesn't mean it was great. Transformers had $1 billion. Doesn't mean their people are like, yeah, I want another movie. But fuck it. I don't know. But that's just my little ramble. I just want to let people know, or let myself know, that I can make YouTube videos. I want to let myself know that I can put out content and not be discouraged just because I don't have a fucking Casey Neistat movie fucking DSLR, or, you know. I say Casey Neistat just because he's such a high standard. Like, dude, when you make YouTube videos, you want it to be entertaining from beginning to end. And I feel like sometimes a lot of people get discouraged. Like, hey, I don't have a drone, or hey, I don't have friends that can help me, or hey, I don't have good lighting, or hey, I don't have. Consistency, and then everything else will follow. And I want to be consistent first, and then everything else will follow. Until then, that's me. I'm done. I'll put another video up hopefully soon. Tomorrow.